get things going now. So firing it on this. Carrots. Yo, Livingston. Big up yourself, Livingston, in our place. Where is this remote? Yes guys, welcome to my live, yeah? I'm just prepping my stuff and well, putting some vegetable in the curry goat that I'm cooking. It's Friday, we normally cook curry goats on Friday. With fried fish and with your chicken or soup. We do pepper prawns. Yes guys, welcome to my life, yeah? I'm just finalizing seasoning up this goat meat. Put it on the fire and make it slow cook and it's cooked, so I'm just seasoning up a bit now. Finalize it. Irish now to put in there. Welcome to my live, guys. Yeah, Jamaica land. Big up yourself, Baba Sky. Jamaica independent. Big up yourself, Lavina Sky. Blaze up yourself. Irish, you know, the goat meat. Alright, let me make a little video of this right now. Yes, Nadine, my son. Bless up, bless up, bless up. All is well. Do this thing. Yes, guys. I'm just finalizing seasoning up my curry. Cooked. Just put in some carrots, Irish potato, some bell, red and green pepper. Then I'm gonna put some cornstarch in it to give it thickness. Yeah. Yeah. Cook some more. Stop that. Now this. Go back this. Back in that jar. Alright, need to do the stuff for the soup now. Prep up the soup. Get the soup going. Three good size sweet potato. That will do the trick and give it a good flavor. Give it a proper flavor. Pumpkin, where the pumpkin is? Pumpkin right here. Where's the fun? Welcome guys. Sean Celebrity, big up yourself. Welcome to my live. I'm cooking some curry goat and making some soup as well. I'm just prepping my stuff for the soup. Just finalize putting some seasoning in my goat meat. I'm gonna put some cornstarch in it to give the gravy a bit of thickness and body. The meat for the soup is cooked at the moment, so gotta get this part of it ready. Where are you watching my stream from? Please let me know. Sexy Maxi, greetings, Maxi. Bless up, Chef Dawson. Chef Dawson in the house. Alright, go up for the pumpkin now. Starbucks. Big up yourself, Starbucks. What you say? You make the caramel frappuccino. Good evening, Sean Celebrity. Good evening, greetings. Where are you watching my stream from, guys? Let me know. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so before. And if you have done so before, thank you and welcome. Can you please check out my playlist? View some of my content. That way you will know whatsoever I cook and I create. And you will give me support by doing that. Yes, guys, it's simmering. I'm putting cornstarch and oil so that gravy will be thick. Oh, we got remote for that TV. Wait there. Lady Tasha, welcome. Welcome, Lady Tasha. How you doing, Lady Tasha? Where you streaming my live from? Feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Check out my contents. And your support is really appreciated, yeah? I'm looking for the TV remote. I don't know where this guy did this remote, you know. Let me leave that. I'm done with that. Back my phone to do some charging. Only charging at the moment.
Airways outputs up to England and Wales. Close to the low pressure and north, close to gale force winds blowing, lots of showers in, and it's colder air. And that will be consistent with showers over the hills and heading to the cold as well, like in the land in Scotland. The sky's brightening across northern England as well as the lakes to the
Viewing my
southwest by the end of the day,
potatoes
but
now.
rain is slow to appear from the south and east. Temperatures in contrast are a little higher than those of yesterday because the air's not quite so chilly, except in the far north and west. But that will tunnel southwards behind our weather front overnight tonight. So very gusty winds and some fairly significant snowfalls over the hills. But we can see a smattering lower levels across Scotland and Northern Ireland. And looking at temperatures, they fall down close to freezing, so if you like some this Thursday and Saturday. Plenty of sunshine at a crisp start, but it's windy and those shower clouds will blow southwards. So many places will see some showers, particularly in the morning, keeping hold of some sharp losses in the afternoon in the east, but they'll generally start to ease down a little bit. So winter in the hills, still cold there. Those temperatures will really come down on those of today. Sunday brings back a spell of wet and windy weather to most parts, as we've seen during the day today. A little bit of
Lady Tash. Okay, thanks to know that you're good, Lady Tash. Blessings, yeah? Where are you watching my live from? In the UK or are you outside the UK?
They plan to kill and injure hundreds of Jews living in the police who were in the firing line, it was a chilling close call. It's a realization that Israel, Jewish hatred and violence against Jewish people is not away from the past. They were driven by extreme Islamists on the Jew. Are you looking forward to a high you want to answer? Yes. You are? Yes. But unknown to the reporters that their number was not exceeded. It was working. Police.
watch on BBC iPlayer.
Wash of blue, that colour of nature sees the sky. It's so immersive.
Is unsatisfactory because it's not necessarily I was just putting people moving in work.
You are fully in the moment, you're still responding about everything that's happening. And when you're doing things that can change night after night, so live, living, breathing, active thing.
I suppose that the outside or the most visible part of the London Film Festival is the red carpet. And this year it brought out some of the biggest names in the film industry.
London, this is BBC News. Reports that more US troops will be deployed to the Middle East as concerns grow in Congress that the war with Iran could escalate further. President Trump says indirect talks with Tehran are going very well and has postponed plans to start destroying Iranian energy plants by another 10 days.
US top diplomats has arrived here in France trying to sell the war to European allies as it works.
The UN warns there's no safe space for civilians in Lebanon, even in the capital Beirut, as the Israeli offensive against Hezbollah continues. And in other news, the UK government issues new advice urging parents to limit screen time for under 5 to no more than 1 hour a day. Welcome to the program. The Pentagon has declined to comment on reports it's considering sending up to 10,000 additional troops to the Middle East, amid growing speculation that Washington may be preparing a ground operation in Iran. Officially, President Trump says indirect talks with Iran are going very well, but he has postponed plans to start destroying Iranian energy plants by another 10 days. Foreign Minister says representatives from the US and Iran may meet for talks in Pakistan next week. But that doesn't mean the strikes have stopped entirely. These are pictures of a rescue in Tehran by Red Crescent workers after Israel carried out another wave of airstrikes in the heart of the Iranian capital. And in the last few hours, it's been reported that US Israeli airstrikes have hit 2 major Iranian steel plants, as well as missile production sites and air defense systems across the country. And Iran continues to hit back. Its Revolutionary Guard have warned civilians across the region to stay away from areas near US cruises. Governments around the world, meanwhile, are desperately trying to offset the effects of the conflict on rising oil prices. India, one of the world's largest crude oil importers, has reduced taxes on diesel and petrol. Vietnam has temporarily suspended its environmental fuel tax through to April 15th. And Japan says it plans to lift restrictions on coal-fired power plants to boost its energy supply. And to illustrate just how serious the crisis is for some countries, at least 3 people in Myanmar are reported to have
That is
died
it.
instantly from queuing for fuel.
Pouring some cornstarch.
G7 foreign ministers are meeting just outside Paris.
Bit of
US
stir.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is
That
there.
will make
Officials
gravy
from
thick.
countries hoping to convince them
Yeah.
to de-escalate the conflict.
That will give the
and
gravy
concerns
good
over
body.
its impact on
See?
the world economy. We're expecting
Dirty, thick already.
very shortly from the French foreign minister. We're going to bring that to you live as soon as it begins. And you have just started to see some lines emerging.
Few more
after
minutes
the
and that
G7
done,
foreign
look.
minister's statement. As I say, we'll
Lovely.
be live in Paris very shortly. Also,
Yeah.
our correspondent, hopefully ahead of that press conference to tell us more about what's emerging from that meeting. But first, let's see our correspondent, Cindy Coloso. Cindy, good to see you. Talk to us a little bit more, first of all, if you would, about these reports that more troops are on the way from the United States to the Middle East.
Yes, that report is coming from the Wall Street Journal, who say the Pentagon is sending an additional 10,000 troops to the Middle East. Now that, of course, will include an infantry and armored vehicles. When BBC asked the Pentagon to confirm this, they declined to comment. But this would be in addition to the near 5,000 Marines, several warships, and at least 2 amphibious assault ships that are on their way to the Middle East. The Pentagon declined to confirm, citing operational security, but what they did confirm is that elements of the 82nd Airborne Division, one of the military's top combat units, are on their way and have been deployed to the Middle East. When asked about all these deployments, President Trump said he wouldn't give details to that journalist who asked him about the deployment. The White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said that what the administration is trying to do is to maintain its military options. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to expand operations in the Middle East. It's unclear under what circumstances President Trump would request these ground troops to join the war, whether this could be a sort of pressure tactic on Iran amidst these talks that he says are going well, or whether this immediate possible escalation, perhaps Italy, Iran's key export of Ireland, or later down the line to try and seize Iran's enriched uranium.
Now, President Trump is saying talks with Iran are going very well. Iran, on the other hand, is saying there are no talks, simply notes being exchanged. Is there any sense that the two sides are actually getting closer to these rumoured discussions in Pakistan?
Trump keeps saying that Iran is the one ready to make a deal or to insist talks are going well. But the only details we received from this side is from the U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who has confirmed that the U.S. has presented a 15-point plan to Iran. He also said that messages are being passed through Pakistan. He says that Iran is looking for an off-ramp for this war, especially after President Trump's threat to bomb Iran's power plants and the subsequent delay that he offered. Now, we don't know details of this 15-point peace plan. We've heard from reports that it could include Iran giving up all its enriched nuclear material, giving up its control of the Strait at the moment as well. But we don't have further details on what exactly the US is demanding from Iran.
Okay, Sunil, thank you very much. Sunil, well, G7 foreign ministers in France have called for an immediate end to attacks against civilians in Iran. Let's get more on that with our correspondent, Nomia Iqbal, who's in Paris for us. Good to see you as well, Nomia. Yes, I was mentioning just a couple of minutes ago that we're starting to see some reported lines emerging in a statement from the G7 ministers. What can you tell us about what they're saying?
As you mentioned there, the G7 leaders have called for these response by Iran, civilians across the Gulf to stop. It's quite similar to what they had said a few days after the war when they released that statement. But in terms of what the US wants, we're still waiting to see what the statement is there, because remember, constantly, and Trump is really becoming trying to essentially sell the deal to European allies that they can be very reluctant to get kind of content with this.
Nomia, do take a moment, Nomia, just to recover your voice as we show these pictures of the G7 family
put up this in as a-
leaders of a
It's another day.
press conference we're expecting with the French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot due to start pretty soon,
So,
which
yeah.
we will bring you live. Nomia was just mentioning there that a statement from the G7 ministers is emerging. I think we can go back to Nomia now. Nomia, it's awful when you get a coughing fit during a live moment. Hopefully your voice will hold out. Yeah, as Marco Rubio came to this meeting, what do you think he was looking to get from the other foreign ministers, and what were they looking to get from him?
Well, before he boarded the day, he was pretty blunt in which he invoked the Ukraine war. He essentially said, well, we didn't start the war in Ukraine, that's not our war, but we are helping, so you should do the same with us in regard to Iraq. Now, it's fair to say that's not a clear equivalence. There's lots of different reasons why both wars, the Ukraine war and the Iran war, differ. But I do think that politically it was very effective rhetoric in pushing European leaders into a bind. So that is clearly what he wants. He wants more support. What that help looks like, obviously, is incredibly debatable and controversial because most of the G7 members, the other G7 members, don't want to get stuck into this war. However, the global economy, as we've been covering, has been taking a huge battering because of the war, and there's obviously each country has to balance the unrest that may occur because people here aren't happy about seeing prices go up, with also not getting too dragged in. They don't want to fracture the Western alliance either. Mr. Trump wants European allies to send warships to the Strait of Hormuz, and that is not likely to happen. I think there has been some sort of meeting halfway.
Good afternoon, sir.
Having escort missions, but Iran has warned Europe not to get involved either. So we'll see. It's exactly what the statement is. You mentioned there the French Foreign Minister will hold a press conference
Yeah.
to get more of an idea. But, you know, will it make a difference, I guess, is the question. It's not binding in any way. It's what they say will be politically significant to a certain extent. But
Yeah.
will it be what the US wants? Iran will probably take no notice of it either. But we will get a sense of exactly where Europe and the US
That I'm to her.
Okay, Maria, thank you very much for that, Maria Iqbal. And we can show you the podium there in Romsonnet, near Paris, where we are expecting that statement from the French Foreign Minister, which will go to bring
Remember, you told me, yeah.
France's position, as with many of the European nations, of course, very much defensive at this point, not offensive, not wanting to get dragged into this conflict. So it will be really interesting to hear what Jean-Noël Barrot has to say, and we'll bring that to you live. Right now, a short break around the world and across the UK.
Yeah, man. We send that to you, yeah. Yeah, man, yeah. Oh, blood. Yeah, man, next week we'll do that. Yeah. Yeah. Just send me a name and I sort that out one time. Yeah. I'll just come and shop and on a balance. I tell you that. What? When I go up on it, you have to click on my picture and it come up with my main page, yeah? And then you will see, say, okay.
Welcome back. Well, while we wait for that press conference from the French Foreign Minister.
No, on Facebook or YouTube. YouTube, you have to go up and subscribe to me, yeah.
To the Middle East, supported by fighter jet squadrons and armored vehicles. With me now, and to explore what the shifting objectives might be, is Mikey.
Well, we don't know. What, me get subscription, but we don't know. We not going to know who direct like that.
10,000 but just remind us overall of the scale of the US building.
We get subscription. We're there 700 right now. We need got 1,700. We need another 200. Reach 2,000. Yeah, once I reach 2,000 now, then the video then can start make money and I get paid for them.
And obviously last week we heard about the tragic accident of the PC-135 went down. There's a whole on what happened. Then got A-10s, the Warhawk, that we've seen operating not just across Iraq, but in Popular Mobilization Forces, which are the proxies. There we go, that's the A-10. Basically it's a ring strapped onto a 30mm Gatling gun with 11.5 points that can carry all sorts. Close to support weaponry. F-15s, they come from Lakenheath. We saw earlier on in the campaign, we saw 3 get shot down by Q-80 F-15. That's the point from our Lakenheath, which is based in the UK. Now the A-10s and the F-15s went out to Jordan on the Lafayette Air Base, which is quite a long transit into the region, which is why we've got the KC-135s. And then interestingly, we've got the deployment of the F-22, which is a 5th generation air defense fighter, the most advanced in the world. That's the F-22 there. And that has been shaping operations for the Israel, so basically clearing the way for jets carried precision guided munitions to go in. So basically, these are all of that indicated that this was going to be an air power campaign which had an enduring capability just due to the mass. Now, if we look at the hardware, that's just the hardware, absolutely right, that's the tip of the spear. What about the right, so logistics support, armorers, air traffic controllers, planners, all
I share a page to you. I share me live to you at the moment. So when you go up on it, if you go up on my picture, you will see where subscription part there. Just do that.
There's one from Japan, which is by the US.
Me just send it to you a while ago upon your thing, man. Just looking at your WhatsApp, you will see.
That's because it carries over that 35 generation finance, basically then provide export and any marine activity, US marine core activity.
Share the phone. You come up. After you come up, I phone. Share the phone.
That went by the NRC and now is steaming towards the region. We then got the US sector, which is leading up another group, which is coming from the west coast. And again, there's two previous associates. With that, so 6 coming in.
No, you don't need to. Why? You see, why you subscribe to it? You will always get a notification when you're on. It will notify you. Yeah, so that simply means you subscribe already. So don't do nothing more to it. You can press subscribe and then you can unsubscribe it. So leave it where it is. Yeah. You see them? Yeah, man, yeah. Yeah, man, yeah. Man, right now I'm there, I'll wash up. I should not come and do all of that. That's why I'm not time to just. Alright. So try to see if we can make our money, save our money and buy one food truck. That's my plan right now. That's more on the right. Yeah. This is the first war that is all the time. Is the food good enough?
And I think that is a consequence. We talk about effects, effects. I think that so when you're talking about objectives, you're talking about cars, you're going to talk about cars, you're explaining on this idea on YouTube.
Yeah, man, them over Goat Island. Over Goat Island. I'm going to do that, you know. Take over Goat Island, you know. Over island near Portmore, you know, where them lease from time and I use it. Well, them have a year base Spanish, you know. Yeah, somebody show me them, I may tell you, them not no wash. Them not no carrier, man. Them have too much antenna sitting on them. Them are no carrier.
Mikey, apologies, I'm going to interrupt you to take our viewers to France and the French Foreign Minister, Dr. Barrow, is speaking. Let's listen in.
Exchanges throughout this year. In terms of results, we have launched 4 major initiatives. One, to together reform the operations of the electricians to make them more effective. Secondly, to optimize supply chain, humanitarian supply chain.
Yeah.
Increase
all right, cool, yeah. Yeah.
To reduce hunger and malnutrition costs. Thirdly, to support and participate in the raising funds in favour of to restore schedule of the pushing road grassroots. And organise travel. We will also decide to hold 2 national regional conferences. First of all, secondly, conference which will take place in Paris on the 17th of May. And thirdly, a regional conference on security for the Caribbean which will take place in Martinique and which will take place in the G7 is also initiatives put towards close to the LGU on the very European has been dealing with 50th February last to support Ukraine to defend its territorial integrity, its liberty and its independence. And since Mr. Lavrov shared his propaganda tracked easily on French shows yesterday, let me say, no, Russia is not protected in international law, neither in Iran nor in Ukraine or elsewhere. Mr. Lavrov, we do not protect international law by launching a war of aggression. You do not defend international law by attacking a neighbouring country. You do not defend international law by denying the sovereignty of a nation and calling upon force outside all legal context is nothing but a bestial expression of brutality. That is the first. No, Russia is not sparing civilians. Think of Bucha, Mariupol, the bombarding of hospitals, maternity wards, schools. Mr. Lavrov, the children of Ukraine, reported to try to eliminate their history and their identity are also civilians. The facts are there. These are documented crimes of war. Secondly, now, Europeans are not closing their eyes when that suits them. Our position is very clear. Everywhere France denounces and realizes against violation of international law is humanitarian. In Ukraine, by Russia, in Israel, by Hamas, in Gaza, by Israel, in Lebanon, by Israel, in Israel, by Hezbollah, in Sudan, by the armed forces, in Syria and in Iraq, in Iran, by the regime in Afghanistan, by the Taliban. Mr. Lavrov, if you are looking for proof of hypocrisy, do not look far. Look in your own cap. Third line. No. France is not muzzling journalists. Mr. Lavrov, we have got 20,000 information media. If there were just as many in Russia, independent editors like the Gazeta, Deutsche TV, have been systematically closed or sent into exile, and all information outside the official line of the Kremlin journalists are facing violence, threats, and intimidation as Anna Politkovskaya and a number of journalists killed, including public who was privately tried for Russian trade on the Ukrainian text. The list is long, as we continue for a long time. As I was taken apart by my Russian colleague, repeated lies, and the part-time and global lies is not the truth. Iran, since the start of the war, the mobilization of the G7 has been exceptional. 28th of February, when the first day we met as Council of Foreign Affairs and the video conference, G7 head of the state to speak about the consequences of the conflict, particularly in terms of energy and particularly in terms of energy measures, including the release of strategic stop the Ministers of Foreign Affairs of the G7 published in the UK on the 21st of March, talking about their support for Women's faced with unjustifiable attacks. And today, we are adapting a new declaration on Iran by Ministers of Foreign Affairs. Here it is. It calls for an immediate stop of attacks on civilian infrastructure and people. Nothing permits this to happen. All we need attacks against civilian installations, and it reaffirms the absolute need to re-establish urgently the freedom of navigation safely through the Strait of Hormuz in light of the release of the maritime law. In times to come, we have agreed on principle the revision of foreign presence within the G7 with those of the North Arab states. The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State, agreed to brief the EU, and we agreed to continue to work to resolve the situation in the Strait of Hormuz. In terms of Lebanon, as the severity of the recent conflict, which forced the need to retain flexibility to support the legitimate institutions to protect civilians, guaranteeing the full restoration of sovereignty. Finally, we start conflicts and threats to peace and security across many regions, in particular in Sudan, where we are seeking to work for humanitarian rights, but also in Venezuela, in Cuba, in Haiti, and for the importance of a free global Indo-Pacific. I will remind you that our intention is to continue to focus on the situation in Gaza and the crisis in the Middle East to not compromise our efforts for the second phase of the peace plan. So, proposed this first full meeting of the foreign ministers of the G7. Please let me say a few words on the prospects for the rest of the French presidency. The next step will be the summit with the President of the Republic. There will be geopolitical questions which will be naturally covered, and with concrete connective initiatives covered too. We will continue to speak as foreign ministers of the G7. The next foreign meeting will be at the UN meeting, and I hope that we will be able to continue to work with the groups on all subjects where we talk about the new people work together. Finally, to conclude the year, we will hold a second formal meeting of the foreign ministers in Marseille on the 9th and 10th of November, which will be able to put in practice the concrete elements that we have been over the last 4 years here in your sector. And throughout the civil society, which has a primary role today on questions of peace and security, will be associated with our work. American objectives today for peace in Iran, and on the Strait of Hormuz, what should be asked in terms of the G7 publicly to guarantee freedom of navigation and a rule on Lebanon? We have warned of a real humanitarian catastrophe. What is the reaction to that? And do you think it's still possible to associate the two theatres of Lebanon and Iran? Thank you. Lots of questions. On the first, I'm not going to speak in Marco Rubio's place, but we want to look at something that was declaration there recently, which answers the conversation that we had today to the media declaration. We had many conversations throughout these 2 days, not just between the countries of the G7 and the United States of America, but also with the countries with community, in particular India and Saudi Arabia, who are interested currently to reach a consensus that I think is within the international community to protect the common concept and the human communication. That's also the world where international waters are closed for navigation of a conflict which did not concern the country. It needs to take place. As part of the President of the Republic initiative has said to allow freedom of navigation throughout demonstrate what was where North Park has come back for a defensive stance in agreement, if we can say that, as part of agreement with the main countries concerned. In terms of Lebanon, you asked me about the disassociation of the two theatres of war. And my answer is simple. It is never, Lebanon should never have been dragged into this war that it did not choose. And it is a crushing responsibility by Hezbollah to have made this choice, which plunges the country once again to the edge of the precipice. That there is no need for the two theatres to be associated. Quite the opposite, we need to redouble our efforts to, on the one hand, cease hostilities in Lebanon, facilitate a high-level dialogue, which would be historic, between the Lebanese and Israeli authorities, which will enable them to agree on the process to disarm Hezbollah and to move towards a settlement of the difference which they have had since 1989. And Israel needs to cease all land-based operations, any attacks on civil infrastructure, any attacks to highly populated regions in their routes, so that a route towards peace remains possible. I would like to salute the efforts, once again, the courageous decision taken by the Lebanese government to declare military activities illegal by Hezbollah and to order the army to proceed with the operation and to ensure the implementations of the Iranian ambassador in Lebanon. That is a way for Lebanon, I think, to express clearly through these decisions that they want in no cases to be associated with this group, and they do not want this country to become a second theatre for war that they do not choose. You were aligned with your Canadian counterparts to freedom and journalists. Yes, I am, and the President is aligned with his counterparts. And we expect once again our demand to free and resolve the problems and to come afterwards to our country and that energy statement. Four countries who are our partners in the Gulf region, but also Mediterranean, Cyprus and others. And in terms of diplomacy, do not believe that a meeting of the G7 is improvised. It's prepared beforehand. There are teams of ministers of foreign affairs who prepared actively this meeting with countries of the G7, with Saudi Arabia, India, South Korea, for it to be useful, for it to be a moment when decide and declare as we are doing now with this declaration which I have just given you and said. The example with the US Secretary of State, since the start of the process to say frequently in terms of mobilization of funds and like the other participants in our exchanges, he wishes for the achieved, even though life has been safety and freedom of navigation can be spiritually assured in the extreme borders and all international waters. We have spoken about questions of mediation, of
Mr. Kaba. Pick up yourself, Mr. Cobb. How go on? Everything good? Yeah, man. I'm there in the kitchen here trying to match up some things, you know?
So those are other countries like Egypt and Turkey. We are supporting these efforts there as much as we can. The real for us for wrestling with conflicts to put an end to this, which have considerable consequences and dangerous consequences for the economy. I would like to just come back to Hormuz and Iran. Marco Rubio did not formulate any precise demands to the partnership or to the partners of the G7 for the Strait of Hormuz. Did he give any indications on how the war will be ended, and has he dismissed the possibility of troops on the ground? In terms of Russia and Ukraine, after this meeting, did he come out confident that the United States is not going to force Ukraine to agree to a lesser agreement? In terms of what Marco Rubio said, I'm not going to speak in his stead. I would like to look at his public declaration. In terms of the question straight on us, I think that the objectives are widely shared. If you are truly interested in these questions, I suggest you to look at the adoption of the Resolution 2817 of the United States, which was accepted by a great majority of the countries of the world, which covered the question of freedom of navigation and maritime security. You need to understand that the seas are divided into two parts. There are territorial waters, which to a certain extent are under the jurisdiction of states. There are international waters, which are a common asset through which exchanges from one side of the other country of the planet can take place. And there's no question that this common asset, which is protected by international law, by maritime law, can be questioned by anybody. So this aid is shared by all, and in one way or another, once calm has returned, or once the military objectives of the United States have been achieved, or once the peak of the hostilities has passed, it will necessarily lead through a system of escorts which will enable the necessary security to be provided for this water to be, for this sea to be crossed as quickly as possible, because the situation gets worse every day. So for this resumption to take place in the best speed possible, this international mission proposed by the President of the Republic must intervene while respecting international law and maritime law. That is what we want to work towards. You asked me about Russia and Ukraine. What I can tell you is that we share a certain number of observations. First of all, Russia was already a military and economic checkmate, because that special military operation should just last a few days, a few weeks, hit a war, the war of Ukrainian resistance. Russia, not becoming a British Russia, is having human loss of about 1 million people, more than human losses in Russia and the Soviet Union since the end of the Second World War. And the Russian soldiers on the front are being killed. So this is a terrible military failure. Ukraine has taken more territory from Russia, and in economic terms and structural terms as well, with the price of hydrocarbons which has increased, this trend is very strong. The impact of the civil and non-military sector of Russia and budgetary resources are empty, and the country will go into recession during this year. This military failure is also an economic failure, as a strategic failure. Nicolas Maduro as well. The disappearance of Ayatollah Khamenei has meant Vladimir Putin has perhaps lost the last of his allies. We can also identify something else, which is that since the 24th of 2022, the G7 has been imposed loyal, or the group of countries which has been loyal to Ukraine to support their resistance. All the countries of the G7, without exception, applied sanctions, all delivered military equipment, all provided financial contributions which enabled Ukraine to be supported against the American administration has brought to power to accelerate the process now Europe has provided more support to Ukraine, as it showed with the 80 billion euros to Ukraine to protect Ukraine's many financial resources, but also the coalition of the EU, which brought together around 20 countries, which for the first time for many of the countries their expertise and military capability for peace was agreed to be guaranteed. This is what we have identified in line with the declaration of the head of state of February, and we have resolved to continue to support Ukraine in its resistance against the invader. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And that is Jean-Noël Barrot, the French foreign minister, speaking at the end of that G7 session. He began, didn't he, by talking about Ukraine, because G7 leaders, European members of G7, very keen to emphasize that they don't want the conflict in the Russian war in Ukraine to be ignored or forgotten about while events are unfolding in the Middle East. A couple of interesting comments then that he made on the situation in the US-Israel war with Iran, on the question of whether the US made any requests to the G7 regarding the Strait of Hormuz, that crucial waterway through which so much oil and other products are normally transported. He says our objectives are shared. He said the G7 have been working assiduously since this conflict began to try to help them to assist and to support any mediation efforts. He said they are supporting any negotiations which might take place. So we talked about the Strait of Hormuz, as I mentioned, and also said on Iran that Iran should not be allowed to extract the situation, the rest of the world from the situation in Ukraine, and also said there should be a declaration from Iran to re-establish freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. So those are two key points that were made in that statement of the G7 foreign ministers. We'll have to go to our correspondents in France very shortly for more on that, but right now around the world and across the UK, this is the seniors.
The calm before the storm. The loose cuts a relaxed figure and at the biggest night and biggest test of his career so far. He's up against Fernando D, who's attempting to make his own little history, becoming the first fighter in the Philippines to win a world title.
Everyone said, oh, how do you manage on fight now? So I'm like, that, I need to see that.
Fighters at this show will earn a purse in the low thousands of pounds.
New Marion.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
So we've just been hearing from the French Foreign Minister after a meeting of the G7, which has been taking place just outside Paris. Let's cross to our correspondent, Molly Iqbal, who's in Paris for us for more on that. And also just looking at my notes, and Jean-Noël Barrot also said that once the peak of hostilities is over, there will be a system of escorts for tankers talking there, of course, about that crucial waterway, the Strait of Hormuz. But France and certainly from Europe's perspective, they do not want to get involved in offensive operations, do they? They are still coming very much from a defensive perspective.
Okay, and that was pretty evident in that press conference and questions that we took from journalists. There's a lot that you got through. We talked obviously about Russia, Ukraine, Sudan, Lebanon. We've been caught up in this war. We've had like Israel continues to attack Lebanon. More than 1,000 people have died there, according to the health ministry. We expressed concern about that. But obviously we're all looking to hear exactly what has been agreed when it comes to the Iran war. We know that Marco Rubio came here to try and essentially sell the strategy of the Iran war and relate to European allies that America wants to move towards. That's what your foreign ministry is concerned about, sending warships to Israel to try and get it open, but Europe has ruled that out. You did say that French foreign minister that there's a huge declaration on Iran, and this is what I know, it's the immediate end of civilian targets for civilian infrastructure and people. We have heard of calls for inland navigation to the Strait of Hormuz. Crucially, what are we saying now that is exactly going to happen? And what struck me also that you said when you were asked by journalists pretty directly, did Mark Rubio sell the strategy of the war to you? Did he convince you? He basically said, well, he didn't answer that. He said that he didn't want to deal with Rubio. He, by the way, I think he's probably at the airport now, ready to head back to the US. And so we didn't really get much. I don't expect it, because I think one of the first thing there is that they haven't agreed on that position that the US wants for 2 billion, and there's lots of reasons for that, as we've been discussing over the course of the last few hours.
So it looks like the status quo. It looks like the status quo remains, Dolia, then.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. It pretty much looks like that, yeah.
Yeah, and it was interesting on that point in Lebanon that you brought in, that Lebanon should have never been dragged into the war. He said there was no need for the two theatres to be associated. That was a direct response to a question about whether the two theatres should be treated as one, and there was a call there for hostilities to cease and for high-level talks. I mean, that's a very difficult situation as well, and it brings into question, doesn't it, how much the US objectives in this war and the Israeli objectives are linked, and how much they diverge.
This is always been the debate, I guess, throughout this war was exactly what are the US aims compared to Israel. We know that President Trump, we can see now, wants to negotiate, although there's some confusion over exactly in Iran negotiations. The Iranians say we don't want to negotiate with you, but Israel does have different objectives. We know that from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. So exactly where they meet and what ground we don't know, but the French Foreign Minister did.
Yes, guys, feel free to check out my playlist. Support is very appreciated.
Comments and sort of deferred to Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio hasn't said anything so far, by the way. There is a press
Your
release
support
that
is
has
very
him.
appreciated.
We might say something to them before he boards the plane, when he gets off the plane, once he's arrived in America. So we might get more of a sense from him how he views the G7 summit. It's worth mentioning in these reports, none of this is binding. This is just the G7, the nations as part of the G7 saying where they stand together, what they do. None of it means anything in the sense that they will be resolved. But I think it is.
Yes, guys, I'm making some
It's
soup,
remarkable, isn't it, as this war continues,
carrot,
where it will be the G7.
white yam,
Okay,
sweet potato,
in
Would be
Paris for some, yes, I'm not going to
would
say.
be
No response from Marco
Fridays,
Rubio yet, but
lunch
perhaps
wise, yeah?
his relay the conversations that he's had there in France.
I'm just saying what's up with it. We get some good news.
We will get a sense
I'm on the done,
from him,
but
about the US take on those G7 talks. Let's see. Right now, let's take a look at the economic impacts of the conflict. Brent crude has been rising again to around
Conquer TV, Concord. See them yes, man, you want dumpling with cargo.
Oh,
See them. Okay, I'm not sure. Juvenile, could I get Juvenile? Let me come up with.
like an umbrella to like an umbrella to Allah.
I like them.
Allah, better name. Right.
Rennie.
As some money come to for some land, no? So,
I mean, all I'm planning and I give them none.
I don't know what I give them some money. But anyway.
It's possible, innit? You're dealing with a brother, so.
No, when I kill him to, you know, want him, and get my money.
Oh. Yeah. So, your money will go to Rennie now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Money come to the land and all, so.
For land, that is the lease, you know. And now, right to sell them. Like old Jones have right to sell the land there. And they're owned by the Queen and King Charles. So then lease them. Dylan Lindsay, they sell off some ice on a Raspberry side around it. And then the lease, so we buy it up.
Yes, I don't know. Right? The furnace around.
Yeah?
The furnace around, no, something. this is young.
That's it, man. You ring saying that for us. I'm not saying come on. Go home. I'll check what bush I work.
Oh.
Huh? Yeah, remember say Cain killing one of brother, you know. A normal procedure, man.
The one that
Hungry. Throw the chicken. Yeah? Listen. Okay. All of them two sisters, innit?
What are you doing?
One of them that Birmingham and one was a lawyer.
Over here?
That
I want
Birmingham
to
lawyer.
sister. I'm married to.
Oh. Oh, yeah, three of them then.
One of it did. She did,
Number
innit?
one with the run
Gene Mannings.
rent a car business at 40.
Oh, that one there, yeah, that big one there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that one in there.
And then one of the young one married to one guy from Birmingham. An Indian guy.
And, one of married to Gene Mannings. Oh, she died, didn't it?
She did.
Yeah.
Gene Mannings one dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know that.
No, me not go up to that side. Come down to that side. No, I don't want to come the one there. Come for the next one. Come for the next one. I don't want to come for the one there. I just want to come for the one there. Come up straight and come. Yeah. I can tell you so.
Eh?
It's over.
What's that?
It's over. It's over.
Yeah.
Oh, sit down, get me. Ah, so sorry.
Okay.
So, put in a comment.
Just come in and gone. No, you're ready to come back.
No really but
Quite ready at all, mate.
super first class. I don't know fried chicken today, no.
Trying to plant that one.
What? I'm good.
Go to your folks. Try to plant that one.
So a woman then now come today.
Huh?
Woman them map out the place and now come today. Something
I know every day ain't come. That man I go pay him every day.
Okay.
Nah, I go do that, man. Let's see, you want planting?
Huh?
You want for a planting?
Ready? Yeah man, go on and make peace side man. This side. Turkish. Like say rice and fried chicken, you know. A curry goat you cook.
We're working on a Friday, man.
Oh.
Bless up.
I don't know. Yeah man, everything up like that.
Whatever, what going on? Ready yet?
Just put in the noodle guy pot there.
Alright,
So
so
ready. Soon ready.
soon ready.
Yeah man, perhaps some plant we eat some of that but
Both cook already. Rice just gone in.
Yeah.
What thing go going on now? I'm done right.
oh yeah, curry goat and rice already.
Right, so cool. That, I want to, I want some of that. How long am I circle about?
Circle boy. See that? Noodle just going. So within 20 minutes in break.
Yeah?
Yeah.
On the rice?
Yeah man.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead and shit.
No.
Yeah, go on and come. Wait. Go on and come out. Hey, boy. The last one for sure when you got 9 tonight. Yeah.
in
Let
country.
me put it to you this way. There is nothing Russia is doing for Iran that is in any way impeding or affecting our operations or affecting us. That's what we like.
The US tells Zelensky that security balances depend on withdrawal from Donbass.
That's a lie. And I saw him say that, and it's unfortunate he would say that because he knows that's not true. That's not what he was told. What he was told is the obvious. Security guarantees are not going to kick in until there's an end to a war. Because otherwise you're getting yourself involved in a war. Okay, what is a security guarantee? It is troops that are willing to step in and secure. If you put that in place now, that means you're injecting yourself in a war. What he was told very clearly, and you should have understood it, is that the security guarantees come only after there is an end to the war. But that was not attached to it unless he gives a territory. I don't know why he says these things. They're just not true.
What is the US position on Donbass?
We told them that on the Ukrainian side, what the Russians, we're not advocating for it. We explained it to them. It's their choice to make. It's not for us to make for them. We never told them they have to take it or leave it. The role we have played is to try to figure out what both sides want and see if we can bridge the middle ground. The decision ultimately is up to the Ukrainians. They don't want to make certain decisions or certain concessions, then the war keeps going. Same with the Russian side. If they don't want to make certain concessions to the Ukrainian side, then the war keeps going. We're going to continue to try to facilitate what is possible. If it's not possible, then the war will continue, sadly.
The troops being sent to the Middle East, sir, what role could they serve other than preparing the way for potential ground invasion? While you speak about several weeks, are you concerned that this could embroil the U.S. in the kind of prolonged conflict, that President Trump came to office promising to avoid?
This is not going to be a prolonged conflict. The objectives I outlined to you, again, I repeat them, because I've seen these reports, but the news is not clear on what objectives are. We've been disclosing the process of the very first time of what the objectives of this mission are. We're going to destroy the factories that make missiles and rockets and drones. We're going to destroy their navy. We're going to destroy their air force. And we are going to significantly destroy their missile launchers so they can never hide the United States and get a nuclear weapon. We can achieve, we are achieving all those objectives. We are ahead of schedule. And we can achieve it without any problem. In terms of the 1950s that they never maintained
some tell him to come blood clots.
Huh?
No fish not oh, fish ain't just a fry, no fish not cook long. Eh? So it's a fish not cook. Play plan them taste finish. So it's a fish not cook long. I want no curry road, right? So go wait till one of the fish fry. Eat some fish and rice. Fish and rice, you have to run it.
Welcome back to Lunchtime Live. Let's get more of the bread regarding PSG, which has a knock-on effect on Liverpool. Our chief correspondent, Carlos Sonagor, is here. What can you tell us, Carlos?
Well, the next game for the second time in a matter of weeks, PSG are going to have a free weekend in between playing English teams in the Champions League. A couple of weeks ago, they beat Chelsea over 2 legs. In between those 2 games, they were supposed to be playing Lens, but the French league said PSG have that game off, have that weekend off, so you're in great shape to play Chelsea twice. In a couple of weeks' time, they're going to be playing over 2 legs. The first game in Paris on the 8th of April, the second game at Anfield on the 14th of April. In between those 2 games, they were supposed to be playing in the French league, and it's just been announced by the French league that they have decided on the meeting of the French league unanimously that game will be postponed, so that PSG again can have a free weekend. Liverpool will have to play Fulham, I think it is, in the Premier League.
And Manchester City, FA Cup will be before as well. Why have Fulham's changed their position? Because I know there was a big row last week of this postponement.
So the second league just points behind PSG. So I think from their perspective, they would like to play the game. If they don't play this game, I think it means they're going to not have a game for 2 or 3 weeks. So they felt this was their best opportunity to play PSG. PSG might feel a bit consigned as well, because they've been playing before and after the game. That is why earlier this week we had a statement from Lens basically saying, we don't want this game to postpone, we're going to stand up for our points, and we want the game to be played. But at the meeting of the French league today, apparently the Lens president said, you know what, we have no issue with the game being postponed. The reason he said that is in the interest of Liverpool as a whole, for PSG to carry on doing well in Europe, because you have to remember, every time PSG win in Europe, it helps the French
Chef,
officials.
cut the bench right off me. Cut the bench right off me. Cut the bench right off.
I put the con think up my blood. Wait a
Well, man, I guess I cut up something else, brother. Think up shit.
Very good question. I think if you're a Liverpool fan, you're thinking, hey, this is not fair. We have to play Fulham. PSG are going to have 5-6 days off. The reason the Premier League don't do it is because if they did it for Liverpool, then they have to do it for every other Premier League club that plays in Europe. At the moment, this season, we had almost half the teams in the Premier League playing in Europe. So the Premier League's
What is that?
it is a total start. Thanks very much, Carly.
Chef.
Observation, just as I speak to you, speaking at the White House in front of the farmers in the state of Spraggabenz
What is it? Not a lot of it. Not, what is it? Just hand you the bag around. Just go on. What is it? Just hand it. I have to save whatever the short children now one. What is it? Now come. No, that's good.
Was not acceptable to the country would be particularly low. Of course, most of the economy based on the trade that goes through, including, obviously, you've mentioned fertilizers, the oil and gas products that go through there. So, this is a
Part
big
of
issue.
securing democracy and the way we make it an everlasting, enduring process is by showing the American people the results of what we're doing. The important work of this continues putting it out to them so they can see how waste, fraud, and abuse, and then they can demand from our constituents and our electors that they want this process to continue.
Last major question here.
Some things are so sensitive that we both would agree they can't be made public. Will you commit to this committee when it is too sensitive to disclose that you would at least make it available for in-camera review by the chairman and ranking member?
But I pass a cutting board already.
I have done that.
Put out here.
Well, thank you.
And
The
yes,
chairman
keep a close eye
is
on
the
what
record
President
here.
Trump is
This is
saying there in
meeting
Washington as he
with
speaks to
questions
farmers
and
and whether he
the
mentions
director
that withdrawal of his
are
arms
ways in
to
which I
issue
believe
of
we need
affordability,
to
the
come to
impact on prices
agreement
for
or
consumers
by statute
in
if
America is
necessary,
very
the kind of
significant.
openness and transparency that we're seeing from this administration, the kind of discovery that's allowing us to do our
Well,
oversight
it's funny, and there's
properly.
always a good thing to add
I
to
would
the
hope that
and
that
this
be a
is
follow-up to this, so
part
obviously
of
along
any
with the Attorney
questions.
General.
He is
And I yield
close
back
to
my 4
Newcastle
seconds.
upon Tyne, and nothing Newcastle upon Tyne today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Director Giselle. The wake of the tragic murder of Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump said, quote, violence and murder are the tragic consequences of demonizing those with whom you disagree. Day after day, year after year, the most hateful messages of the way. I don't know for the record that Donald Trump is famously demonizing practically every person as if this country never used its own logic is their lives are innocent. I should know. Around 2 weeks ago, I announced my decision not to seek out, and I announced my decision not to seek re-election. Many people on both sides of the aisle
I'll go around it.
In a few minutes now, yeah?
Huh?
You want soup first or what?
One current goat and rice and one both of them.
Alright.
Companies and the impact that their products, their social media actions are having on young people, effectively a real watershed moment for the way social media operate. Now, we happen to be in a high school and sixth form education tonight, so we may well have some young people in our audience, and of course they are the people who have grown up in the age of social media, but through so directly into what has now become a really topical political and social debate about how that social media is managed. The government conversations going on at the moment, looking at children who possibly banned under 16, and they're being really keen to try and get from some of that audience who's so directly affected by this. What they think about their experience of social media, how it's shaping their lives, crucially, what they want to make them for their lives about what should be done. Yeah, that's going to be a fascinating discussion, I think, Alex. And who have you got on your panel later? Yeah, well, we're set to almost ready to go. You can see what you're going to have next arrive. We've got a panel of 4 politicians
You soup
tonight.
first, yeah?
Huh?
You soup first, yeah?
Yeah.
If I was a betting woman, Anita, I would say I reckon this could be quite a lively discussion. So what we see Alex was like presenter of Radio 4's Any Questions That Get Tricky, New York. Now, from back Wales, you understand how the German city of Jamaica has freed itself after a series of rescue attacks. The tornado on Wales was first spotted on Monday. Several attempts to release the beach gravel had failed. On Thursday,
He did not wish to dredge the channel, and overnight the whale managed to swim into deep water. The weakened animal still has a long journey to safety, and we need to maintain that from the justice into the material that was submitted during the confirmation process. Managed to do that. Now, let's just think about two offers. When President Trump is addressing farmers on the Saturday, in fact, he's just finished actually. This is a farmer speaking at the South Lawn of the protest because they are very, very concerned about the war with Iran on the European fertilizer because it's just about to go into spring planting season around much of the world. Certainly the US very much affected by that. Will there be an increase in prices for farmers? Will that be passed on to consumers? So lots of questions. We are hearing reports that the government is going to open up new loan guarantees for farmers and food suppliers. We're expecting to hear something about that from President Trump too. That situation the critical role is it's not just about oil and gas, it's about many other commodities as well. It's urea which is used in nitrogen fertilizers in much of the world. Please stay with us here on BBC.
It's enough rice there, on
Little more. That's it.
Give me some to peel off. Brother, that thing to peel off the carrot there.
threats of web donors going in from these organizations to radical and with radical DAs and prosecutors out there putting criminals in jail. Does the FBI director agree that this exists and is a problem?
Except contractual representation, and if that exists, it is a problem.
The organizations such as Times, the Fair and Just Prosecution, Writers Center for Justice, Partnership for Safety and Justice, the Fair Institute of Justice, the amount of dollars flowing flows through into these organizations to the various prosecutors that have resulted in increased crime on our streets, including the brutal murder of the Ukrainian refugee in Charlotte. I bring that up because that is one complete problem. In addition, we have organized efforts targeting our workers, the NGOs, the nonprofits, and the deep pockets, the United Nations, charitable organizations, a long list of over 250 organizations that the Center for Immigration Studies put out that lays out a complex web organization that will move into the country, knowing that they're dangerous, knowing that they're criminal, associated with taxpayer dollars flowing through the United Nations, and donor dollars flowing through organizations including obstetrics and religious putting these institutions resulted in mental illnesses, resulted in the just numbering of hundreds, thousands, even as the director testified, 100,000 people died from narcotics abuse. All of this in an organized effort, a complete effort by the radical left to use taxpayer dollars to be flourishing. In addition, the extent to which we've seen now with the Southern Poverty Law Center, another hate group, targeting, for example, Baker Research. We had a shooting right here in D.C. over a decade ago, putting Charlie Kirk, putting a target on TV USA, Antifa, other radical organizations that are very specifically organized and targeting conservatives and ordinary Americans. Well, how about the organized effort to infiltrate our schools and advance a trade agenda, and advance a radical agenda, perhaps one that we will see expose murder in the individual who actually shot Charlie Kirk. Here's my question. Will you, as the director, and are you pursuing all legal channels to follow wherever it may lead to this organized effort? One. And two, do you agree that Congress should take all action necessary to expose this web of dollars that are flowing to undermine
Chef,
our way?
box up a soup for me, please. You can pass.
Box, yep. In a box.
In a me bowl.
No, you box. Oh.
Hungry or fuck?
No, you talk to me. I will talk to me properly.
Me forgot to say me and you same thing, you know. If you not be precise, specific, we don't know where we are, them at talk say.
Yeah, I know.
See my one up there, so, you know.
Oh, we start talking about that. Oh, sorry.
Countryman, where you deal with? You know, from when I see your dog from Wednesday, you know?
I'm still there, you know.
So you do hide from me? Eh?
You know there.
Me? Them in there in spirit, brother.
Huh?
Me there in spirit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that's great.
Bobo, where you deal with? Alright, little bit. You okay, man? You take.
1 minute. 1 minute.
What are you going to take? Yeah.
You must take care, big man.
Yes, sir. What do you say?
You take care, eh?
Yeah, we do.
We have it.
Soup ready, curry goat and rice ready.
Give me my curry goat and one ice over.
Because you know that present trust you very differently is basically calling all the rest of the world. Let me bring in really good to speak to you. Deputy President of Sydney. And who started next?
I want to open gravy though, yeah? A little gravy.
Seal up.
Yeah, man.
I do a YouTube stream, that's right.
Huh?
I do a YouTube stream.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah, you know what? Watch the field.
We helped you with Ukraine war, you should help us with this. But you're a good guy.
Hi, do we separate?
Yeah?
Separate?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Alright, put it on plate, make it sit down like you're eating.
You want to sit down and eat?
Yeah, put it sit down like you're just put it on plate.
Okay.
Yeah, sit down like you're going.
Yo, Wallace. Chef, call him.
Oh, yeah, man. How much I have it?
8 and 5, 13.
Alright. You know, I think that you know, veg, I don't.
No, I'm not make that yet.
No water.
Yeah. Alright, cool.
Oh, it's nice.
Happy.
Yeah.
Bless.
Transporter.
Yeah. Chef, you want soup, chef? Chef, you want soup? Yeah, you know that. Right. Yo, bro. You hear me? You hear me? Yeah, where's it? Alright, cool. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Alright, cool. Yeah, man, yeah. Yeah, man, yeah. Sit there. Yes, I am Uzi. I am cooking curry goat and soup, rice and peas, curry goat and pot. Yeah. I made some soup as well, yeah? So I'm doing at the moment. I jerk some chicken from the outside and fry some fish as well. Blacks. Oh, blacks. Yeah, man, I don't clean and I feel no that. Yeah, Wednesday. Pumpkin seed. Onion
Yes or no? Investigating or making decisions about the 60 individuals, including myself, identified as government. Yes or no? The delegate expired. This may respond if you would like. The answer is no.
Carbonet. Our call, pick up yourself. Burn, pick up yourself, pick up yourself. There, call, they're in the kitchen here, you don't know. There, I do my thing, you know. Drink some soup, my youth. Got the local, you don't get that. You know the local? That's why. But I'm here, man, I'm here. I'm there, I do my thing. Alright? Bless you.
time. Good to see you.
That's
Just
the
picking
problem.
up on one subject with
Okay, so we don't have any idea right now.
listening to
His
Marco
prep,
Rubio,
how we
it
set
was
up,
interesting
we utilize that time for sure on campus. All of those are being currently investigated. There's some analysis and police interviews and the state of Utah have announced charges against this suspect. And that suspect, like you referred to, is then captured on security footage, jumping off the roof, alleged shooting location, closing center. Any idea how the suspect got on the roof in the first place? I think for members of Congress, especially if they're butlers in Pennsylvania, it's just unimaginable that there could be some type of security breakdown prior to the event inside, where somebody could access a roof. So not commenting on the case, but having gone to the crime scene and walked the steps that legally undertaken, was actually readily accessible exterior stairwells, so anyone could have gotten on it. The suspect flees on foot to kind of this wooded area, where he drops the rifle, grabs it in the towel, and then proceeds to his stage vehicle, and basically drives away. So, we've been asking what the towel was about, was it used later to identify the place where the firearm was left? We found out where it found out we the towel, which DNA was collected off of, and the towel was found wrapped around the firearm in question in a wooded area next to the campus. The process for DNA. And then, according to the suspect's roommate, there were allegedly messages on instant messaging platforms, specifically Discord, suggesting the towel may have been used to identify the weapons location. Other reports have suggested that the shooter victim. We still believe that that's true. Do we have any idea as to whether or not those Discord messages led us to believe that the shooter may have been held in any way or assisted?
I can only speak to the FBI's investigation, and our investigation is ongoing and we are reviewing
So my suggestion
What's up the food? What my brother? You good? Respect. No, we can drop a blood clean fish. No, no sir. No, we can drop a fish. Don't tell me what day it is today. I know what day it is today. Stop winding me up. But me see fish a swim outside in the grease. I'm not Thursday today, man, but still a Friday? To blood clot today. You say, no, we're working. There's no sense of timing, you see me? Enough time, I don't know what day it is, you know. Sorry. Yeah, today a Friday, no. Today a Friday, no. Spragga.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't want to say no, man.
Take up blood clot this thing. I don't know.
Friday we get fish soup, right? Yeah, but what do we got?
So, in efforts were made by the campaign to reach out to FBI agents or the sympathizers in the intelligence community in order to lead their credibility to the campaign plan. Do you think it's an accurate characterization?
Many ways to do your ACA. However you do it, we can help you get to 100% boost on your ACA. All you need to do is
No, but there's another one there. We don't get the roll up.
Characterize that material because it's part of an ongoing investigation. Thanks for being here today. Now that Yale's back, Thank you, Dr. Cal, for being here today.
An FBI search Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan residence, correct?
Doing it.
2019, in that residence, the FBI found a safe, correct?
I don't have the catalog of evidence in front of me. I'll accept your representation.
And in that safe, FBI found those two photographs of girls, correct?
Again, sir, I'll accept your representation. I don't know.
It was all over the media at the time. It's a New York Times article that says Jeffrey Epstein's indicted on sex charges as discovery of new photos is disclosed. According to my opinion, in 2019, the trove of photographs of girls was discovered safe inside financier Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan mansion. Author Michael Wolff has conducted numerous interviews with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm going to play for you a video clip of what Michael Wolff said Epstein told him was in the safe when he showed the author was in the safe. So let's please play that clip now.
Elected. I was sitting talking to Epstein, and he said, "Wait a minute, I gotta show you something." I went into his safe, and he came out with photographs that they were Polaroids, I think, and he kind of they kind of spread them out like playing cards, and it was Trump. I think there were a dozen of them, and it was Trump with girls of an uncertain age at Epstein's Palm Beach house, where all of the things that he would ultimately be accused of took place. And I remember very vividly 3 of them. There were 2 in which Trump is, the girls are sitting on Trump's lap, and then a 3rd in which he has a stain on the front of his pants, and the girls are kind of pointing at him, sort of bent over and laughing.
So, Director Cal, I'm going to ask you a very broad and general question. As you know, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were friends. There are, of course, photos showing Donald Trump together with Epstein, correct?
I don't have the entirety of the photographs, but I think the photographs are probably together.
Were there any photos showing Donald Trump with girls of uncertain age? How do you know that?
Because that information would have been brought to light by multiple administrations and FBI investigators over the course of the last 20 years.
Well, you know, that's just not true. Because no one knew what the creepy birthday message that Donald Trump wrote to Jeffrey Epstein until one disclosed it, and then all of a sudden, Epstein replies it to Congress. He's reportedly you weren't there at the search. You don't know.
Well, no soup in there. Soup done.
We're asking him prior to the search. Maybe someone has
I say my soup tomorrow. I'm going to
You raise a great noise.
So I'm asking him.
Yeah, you put in this pot, hold it just.
You raise a great point. I haven't personally asked to talk to
Is
my
the FBI asked?
but the FBI, I'll get back to you from the FBI.
So my question is, about 100 hours. Jeffrey Epstein, would it be good for the FBI to interview Michael Wolff?
I'm not saying they haven't, I just don't know.
Is there a subpoena of the tapes that Michael Wolff has conducted of Jeffrey Epstein?
I don't know.
So if you could provide us an answer, that would be terrific. Well, let me ask this question.
Brother, I can't get a different one. Yes, you have a carrot one.
I have looked at all the information that the investigators provided.
That's what I do for my link, yeah.
In the Epstein files, there's that creepy birthday message that Donald Trump had written.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you know the carrot one, is it?
Great point. The estate
No, sir.
Oh,
Good evening.
information that they have not released.
Okay, right, so, would it be great if that,
You need to look, you know.
the state of Jeffrey Epstein, all that information?
The estate has no obligation to provide that material in pursuant to his
Kitchen there, Zuka.
That's just house.
Okay.
It's just house here, and then the FBI, you can subpoena information from the state, and you better do that.
Oh, so caramel frappuccino.
That exists. I just want to ask you a simple question. Is President
Palm favorite that much. Very good.
Oh, we got careful.
Everything ready. Mama.
Yeah, big one. Has a huge could not answer whether Donald Trump was on MC I cannot recognize him then. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll take his work over the last several months, including the taint of partisanship, has affected the television community over the past several years.
Beat the crow shift.
Last up is my
Okay, you want bowl of soup? You want soup?
Yeah, but
You carry with you. You want fish to carry?
no, I don't. Yeah, I carry soup because I want that fish. Everything I go.
Yeah.
Yes? So 2 soup.
2 soup, 1 food,
Yeah.
and mix the soup. And mix the soup, get it?
And that's a share of carry soup, not 9 soup.
Okay.
And then now I get takeaway.
Okay, yeah.
Friday and British. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, yeah.
gave details on a systematic process by which classified information was collected by then Chairman Now Senator Adam Schiff. His findings escalated within the Bureau's chief of command and if so, what level?
So what am I go back on Kingston, you know? Or then Ghana? But they have to go play Congo. If they go through. That's a hard deal.
See this clip. And let us know who the pedophiles are. Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. You said you emphasize that the president's FBI record.
So I'm never take my seat, you know?
Yeah.
You finished?
No.
You know, tired cause. Eh?
Eh? Oh.
You must tired too. Huh? Yeah, work tomorrow?
Eh?
Oh, no, you're talking about what the journalist got 5 years ago? No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what you were talking about there. Because under the direct
That's Spanish too.
we release more material than anyone else before.
I don't see my big one.
Obama administration had the exact opportunity to release this material. They never did. If you were selling the Pentagon to the we're not going after child pornography.
7 days he work.
35% child
Well done.
Sort the over that. FBI director and all of the Jamaica police.
You don't know what, you know?
I never sent Jeff traffic other people, other women, other things. This is the investigation for 2006, 7, and 8. And a search warrant for 2006, 7, and 8.
Well, good.
Not bad.
Computers, email, final cabinets,
I'm going to go over the road and get the Rizla and I'm going to go and message. I'm going to search the yard for Rizla and I'm going to go and message. Look, I ain't seen no tip, so I'm going to have to buy Rizla and tip.
It's got nothing to do with what those reports say. You want me to break the law in a federal judge's order? No, I want you to follow your own Director Patel. He said up there he was under the direct control of the FBI director. He had the left. We have direct control over. We have gone to court. You have it. Everything you have direct control over.
Yeah, when I finish with it. Yeah.
I'll just put this behind there.
You began the sentence. Everything you have direct control over. You released everything you have direct control over. I have direct control over.
Festival there? Or am I going to know?
No, do later.
Yeah, and otherwise what, rice? Rice and peas before this, Papa.
This one, today this one cook.
No man, give me that man.
Because of the non
Brother.
and the court orders on the investigation, search warrants.
No, blood tries a long time to see brown rice and peas. But see, they got spoonful more now. Beg me a beg. Give thanks, my brother. Yes, man. Yes, man. Give thanks. Chicken gravy? Okay, that's cool, that's cool.
Garnish already in here. Oh, you want some gravy?
What kind of gravy that?
No meat, not meat.
Okay. Just put it on the rice, a little bit. On the rice. Tap. Oh, that's lovely, that's good. Coleslaw?
No. That don't make it.
Okay, I'll come back for festival later. Guess what I'm good for you now? Carry that home and left that blood. I wait till the festival and thing. That's not me turn. That's not me turn. I'm kind of hungry still, you know.
Yeah.
Anyone that says that he's taking the stats above incorrect.
Wow. Huh? Yeah, go on.
Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
Attorney General and I had, of course, discussions about the entirety of the Epstein files and the reviews prior
Did
to
you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
and we have released where President Trump's name is.
It's a simple question. Did you tell the Attorney General that the President's name is in the Epstein files?
During many conversations that the Attorney General and I have had on the matter of Epstein.
Want to try hide it, you know?
Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or no?
Are you trust the alphabet?
Yes or no?
Trust the alphabet?
Yes or no?
ABC.
Director, it sounds like you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General?
Yeah, man. Yes, all right.
Why don't you try serving your constituency on reducing violent crime in this country and the number of pedophiles that are illegally in sanctuary cities?
Get some cool on home, man. Fresh pork.
You on that?
Fresh pork. Yeah, can't come on. One food, three soup. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Which one have meat?
Anyone?
Instructions from the administration were to release all relevant information. We have done that.
Donald Trump never provided information about Jeffrey Epstein as a
When the meat is
shell game where you say you can't release everything because the court has said that it legally is not allowed to be released. The court calls for Judge Richard Berman said that when you went to the court, quote, information contained in Tennessee grand jury transcripts pales.
let me see how, wait, I mean, just let me see how I go from Spark, and I'm going to Papa and that side. Well, you may show you. Papa, what's one name? So that case, where the one is? Right on Marley Road, that's it.
Marley Road, that's all.
Yeah.
Oh, Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I get Supreme. Supreme, I get chicken. Twice.
See you in Starbucks back in the yard.
Yeah. That's frappuccino, you know?
Fish meal.
Yeah.
Could the gentleman be extended an additional 20 seconds to complete his thoughts since the witness decided to interrupt him?
Yeah, man. This is me say, you know, me a ring around, but you come in and me there, I do my thing. Did they ring me? I must have dialed up on the phone.
Come on.
Yeah, man. Alright.
4 plus.
Yeah, bless it. Yeah, man. Come on. Yeah. Where's the down, my youth? You want a fried fish with rice?
Yeah, we look rice. I eat porn here. Go on.
You're a hustler, man. You're a hustler, man. You're a hustler, man. They're hustling and going with.
What's this?
You want it on a plate or you want it in a tray? What do you want it?
No, family, I want a plate. You send something to your phone, yeah?
Yeah.
Look funny.
Answer, I'll accept your representation. I don't know.
Thank you. It was media at the Times and your kind article that says Jeff Epstein is indicted on sex charges as discovery of new photos.
I don't want no garnish. Look at that corn gravy for me. Buy rice.
Jeffrey Epstein. I'm going to play for you a video of Michael Wolff said Epstein told him was in the same show. So let's please play that.
Experience the global phenomenon 6 minutes live in London, West End.
It's what you did that matters. It's what you did that matters. Let me ask you something else that you did.
Sure.
Did you claim that Donald Trump declassified all the
Plastic spoon is right like that.
public ever? Did you tell anyone that Donald Trump declassified all the documents at Mar-a-Lago?
From publicly available information, President Trump issued
I
a
know this.
classification order providing
No, I'm just asking, did you tell the public, did you tell anyone, did you make the claim that Donald Trump had declassified, there was hundreds of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago, did you make that claim?
my recollection is that President Trump issued a declassification order to a large number of documents.
Yeah, and were you present when he declassified all Mar-a-Lago documents?
Mar-a-Lago documents, I said, President Trump declassified a large number of documents, and I would hope this committee and the rest of Congress would want to get those documents.
Upstairs. Fire blue.
You're sorry, man.
Hey, let's spice it up.
Yeah, stay around.
Yes. You look like you put in a good day's work.
Did Donald Trump ever ask any of the agencies who produced those documents whether declassifying them would put people's lives at risk? Did he ever do that to your knowledge?
You know, we can talk to you about football because he's a man who
Boss,
get excited and go get
good man.
this man.
Enjoy, you know, respect.
But you notice them coming along.
Yeah, they support the same thing.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
You know what I'm saying?
we are support the same thing.
But what did I just say? Like this man who calm and you know, strong and emotional thing. But you know, people last week was very quiet.
Yeah. And what?
Bobby was very quiet. Now these guys are very vocal.
The Liverpool man.
But they call it a team. Like you don't know what going.
Fire!
Very, very.
I'm glad to see you on fire! Biggest sitting on fire! You know, Friday, man. Biggest something on Friday, man. Come on, don't go on, so.
I'm going to deal with that now. What do you say?
Anytime you want alone, you must check a man on Friday.
Something for you.
On Friday, you must check a man. That's Friday. Close it down. Biggest sitting man. Bring it come now, player.
Don't do that now, come.
Bring it come now. Bring something, man.
United States that they have ever seen. Is that right?
Yeah, never there last night. You see that green trousers and like the green trousers. And you were using a good food yesterday,
bro. I think so.
Yeah, I'm coming up in the shop and buy something. They were there last night, you see. Oh no. So nobody did the one, the barrel got on the tree. You guys, silver. Got it. Minimum in the shop.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, that's
last night. But last night, you see my coat of shop with Red Bull.
Yes. Yes, man.
You see, you look like you see book here, I'm happy. Yeah, I'm nice. So ask me now, do nothing to talk. Oh, this man's happy.
I don't ask now, make we happy.
No, ask me that, man. No, ask me that.
Yes, sir. We always happy.
Yeah, 7 points.
You know what? 40. What do you load?
No, you don't want that, but you want the ice cream.
That's everything, man. I'm done. Because the garnish ready for fish. So sauce.
Yeah, they make one next one to you.
Vanilla.
The questioning, he said that the FBI headquarters, where they investigate cybercrime and terrorism, should shut down and open as a deep state museum. He said that the headquarters should be shut down.
All right, Lord, no put this.
What, give me that? What? My John. $20. Please. The last one over to almost $2 now. I think around $9. First time here.
Wi-Fi.
The last time man dropped it on. But the first time here.
I'm in bed.
Are you playing?
Anthony B.
No.
Anthony B.
No, I'm going to say I'm but that's not what I do. That's the draw, isn't it?
If you hear Valiant then.
Yeah, Valiant. Yeah, but the first time here, Anthony B. Miano. So you want to do what you want? What the name of the tune? Something brown?
Boxer what?
Boxer rubber. I hear boxer rubber. You know what the boxer rubber?
That's how they say.
Yeah, I'm Master Roots. I should have been Rasta lover. That you know that you know that. Not to take away. Who's sing that again? No, yeah, Tapazuki.
Tapazuki.
You know the night here, you know there. Liverpool is the Coronado. You go for broke up and kill that in a blood clot now. Yeah, my boy, like my bad man. Can't come in and speak English on that. I'm a bad man. Fuck. Then you fuck him up. But I see no big artist, you know.
Get him and she keep it.
Man, she kill it. She get him and she kill it. And she kill it. Not the better way she get to the bad man.
Big tune.
They turn up all it.
You watch it 40?
No, I haven't watched it. So watch it.
Pretty young girl. No, the first version
Just hold my hand.
No, who's the first one cut that now? Brrr. Me play with him already, you know. Yeah, man, what's his name? Him drop the tune first, you know. Horace Andy. Pretty young girl. Talk to me.
Said, my old man used to have one Peugeot 604. And we used to go to country, used to go to Gloucester. And have all them things. You see, you're lucky, and sit on the front seat and tell me a little boy, you know. And then chew me a chop. I dance all the way. At country and back.
So some of the old school tunes.
Yeah, man, turn it up, man. Next time you smoke cigar, right? You come out and think of cigar. Think!
I never smoked that lamp bread like you smoke that.
Cigar yard there, you know. Yeah, that's why we're Dominican Republic.
Lord,
Just hold my
somebody come with
hand.
tobacco from Turkey. What's that?
Oh, I love you.
Smoke out those, smoke out. And yet, honey. Oh, look at my feet. I've never smoked it by itself. Look at the man needs body. And you can get the tobacco with it. Bone man or something, but it's like a turkey. And it's cheaper. $25 in the fucking people. Imagine. Some of the money in the teeth. It's going to get some money. I'll tell you that it's out there.
He's one of the J6 prison choir. You seem to identify in a court Bible.
It's this big, so you have to put on one and then the other. So if you jump on the base, no, right? Jump on the base. Because they get 24 shots, so then you can't use it to cut out. So quick, you know what I mean? That man, look at it, yeah. Drop in the drum now. Look. Mix one. I'm not bringing a two and make it mix it. Because you know different things. No man, mine you know, I was giving a proper place. I'm going to have a place. But you're down there, a proper place. About 5 feet in and crisp like that. Right, just like that, everybody book it.
You mean down here, so? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah. What's your old past you there?
Yeah, man, my bedroom like crisp and the next man.
Yeah, that's how you that's how student.
Yeah. And everyone, the one, it come like book yesterday, the ground man, they say you're going through it. I guess it's after today, they come in. I think the last night, he said no, him come here, sir. Him come here, sir, last night, but nothing to buy it. You see that? He said, how can I do it? He said, Jerry there, he said no. I mean, if you go down there last night, so he made it. Yeah, but the space too big. You know what?
Huh? You know what? So listen up. Danisha. You know names up? You're losing it, you know? You gotta get old enough?
You're fucking there.
Danisha.
You're fucking there.
Sister now.
This is like now, boy, what are you?
Danisha, yeah.
Yeah, Danisha, Danisha.
So, he's living at the lane.
That's right here, son.
So I beg you to put up the camera there.
You know they do electrics? You do electrics? Oh. So that, at the drop field, son?
So, yeah, so... They added them today. Yeah. But I don't know if you go walk, you didn't go now. Well, if you go... So, I tell my man to go around there because she said, "Me put up some light when me down there. You know, the sensor light, but she said like the back light now come on. So I said, William, you said my go around there, man. What man walking, man? You know what?
Wow. East Ridge. Because when I use measures on myself, you know, I feel I'm going to decide to eat, you know that again, you know. You guys don't quick before you get paid again. You draw for your blood clot all over. But this last whole last you can last 2 days.
You know, I sell some of them something there, thing there, I think a £10 a pack.
My grandson has sold them for 20, but they're 50 grand. So.
Malibu.
It's Malibu.
Malibu, we all try some of them. I saw she gets in the way I sell them.
She?
Yeah.
She is a...
Let me have all for them, yeah.
Did you say she? There's only one Malibu in there.
Well.
It's not her real name. It's not her nickname.
Mr. Moore daughter.
David's daughter. David. Mr. Moore?
Yeah.
Which Moore? Barrington.
Barrington and yes.
Basha.
No, not Basha.
Indian Barrington Moore.
Where Mr. Moore name? No, Mr. Moore name 40.
First name.
What first name? The Barrington name? Yeah. Upton?
Oh, Upton. You know Upton are dead, man?
No, I know dead.
You know what Upton is? You
No,
Upton
no, I know that Upton.
Oh, that's our kingpin brother, that. Upton. I'm too Upton in there, but then I know that one. The other one are far right, brother. Far right there.
Malibu, man. Malibu and team, they right there somewhere where
you know,
I'm basically right there somewhere.
She drive bus.
Yeah, Malibu. She used to drive bus.
Yeah.
She drive bus, yes.
I'm a virgin.
No, she has them. She have them.
You know her mother, Paulette, man. You know her mother? Yeah, she don't do that for nothing. Tell her, Mr. Yeah, Malibu, man. I don't want to go over there, you know.
They're not giving nothing for nothing. No, man.
No, man, I'm growing to go there. Growing to go there, man. She's around, she's soon, she's not far from 50. Man. So she come off of the bus now.
No, I think she's still on it.
Okay. So we sit to her mortgage thing that too. Whether they have man or not. She say, well, not, you know, only true respect. So a mortgage something that whether they have man or not. I make sure we find a man in mortgage. But I'm buck that, but I work off to go pay enough blood clot. Grow now. You know better. When you see other people going to certain you can't replicate that. It's a good thing. Uncle they go there already. Three uncles here in the past 3 years now. Yeah, man. My mother 3 brothers then. 3 of them there, you know.
Boy, bring you something, man, on the backside there, man.
Long time we haven't told you.
There's no need to be like that.
Yeah, bro.
There's no need to be like that. We're all friends right here. Just hold my hand. Oh boy, we ain't got no rum to drink tonight.
Bad move in football house. Weird.
What?
What the fuck is this out of we done?
Yeah, we laugh, man.
But you just don't laugh.
I know Jamaica you come from.
What's Jeff? Hold on. That's why the one of them talking. All right. You just finish this blood water thing. I have a foot like right, bro. Before that died. All right,
you know, so I go to follow your instruction and you're not kill me.
I want to blood that
no, if my method of work for nearly 60 years, touch wood, why am I going to change my habit of a lifetime?
So tell me. So if you are not strong, what's the way you're strong today?
Yeah?
We just asked if you want to drink. You said no.
No, but they don't know.
You said no.
Chef, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Important. Backside.
No, never see you drink.
Answer me not to drink strong drink pan after I drink soup.
Straight away. Who does that?
Backside.
I don't like to see you do that. I don't like to see you do that. No, that don't make sense to me. That don't make sense to me.
What do you mean?
That's why I walk so bad.
What's why man walk so bad?
No.
Don't worry about it.
No, me walk up.
I'm still gonna have a good weekend. If life's free, I'm still gonna have a good weekend. Yes, chef?
No, me not. It just seems funny to me. We don't think hot water from another dog, white rum. It must be
What's wrong? I know white rum I drink.
Oh, what? What you drink?
I drink red rum, my friend. I'm a leader, not a follower. Okay.
So, are you want to drink red rum?
We're going to the man, because going to the urban come man, backside.
I don't want to get red rum. But me see my man, we're going to sit for a long time.
How's a plate of food that?
Right there.
Because? How's a plate of food that? Salman do a good day's work. Gotta check you with the wife first. Just hold my hand.
You can drop out 2 years and they are grown. So we don't drink last night. What do you drink when we come? Never know.
Somebody gone.
That's like saying don't
Put somebody gone. Yeah?
let me just take off my clothes, don't touch out.
No, because she want to go to the bath and go to bed.
Why?
She wants to have a bath and go straight to bed.
Oh.
You know, that's like saying,
take this brother. You need a smoke. You need a smoke, you know.
I'm going to smoke. Hold on. Me never know you carry on the same
brother.
Hold on. Me never know you go back to the same fucking thing. You know what I mean? Me double that argument here. So if I carry on the thing here, that's like, the woman take off your clothes. And you're trouble. There's suppose she want to be that little dirty poo-poo. You're going to trouble her? Yes, I better know where you carry it on from. I'll come get my own little thing. No, now, but beer.
That's a time.
I wish I could be in before her.
The blood clot.
Is that?
Hold on, no sir. What do you think you can? Them don't want beer too. My woman about walking shower. Walking bathroom. You're rather not walking careful. The woman have wet room, man, out of blood clot. Wet room, they want for that thing. Rubber mat. Non-slip blood clot. Rubber mat, suction mat. You know, any position, nobody knows it. Yeah, man.
So, if I see rum and I see so must drink one or the other.
No, you don't think when you die. When you say red rum, which one that? Captain Marvin, which one that? When you say red rum. So which one is it?
Commercial drink.
So what may I buy if you want to drink?
You don't have it here, man. Apple talent.
Oh man, turn on more, man. Turn on more.
No, man, that's a folded thing. That's a cage juice. I see a long time. That'll take you. You want to come take the table? Yo, come sit down here and eat on. Come on, come sit down, man.
Yo, come take my cup of
Thank you, Roger.
No, man, you're all right.
I still tell her like we do. Huh? I don't know what Slim says she wants. Slim says she wants to sit now. We'll give a curry or fish. I'm going to check. Garnish already yet. Eh? Ready? Go for that. Go for that. Let me ask her. I didn't think me I'd tell you what you are next.
Should I never wait for that? No. That. The microwave when you know.
Maybe after tonight.
That time I feel good like when you come out like that.
Exactly.
Wait, listen. Let's go down again.
Alright, that was already it. Right. No, just one thing. Fried fish and pepper.
Where's that? Come DJ, what else, yeah? DJ, man. So what gonna give you? I'm put some group on it.
Yeah.
Imagine I'm hard, but we can name it.
No problem, no problem. Do a good day's work, you must eat. This is Old Boy's Corner. But I don't want to turn for my home. Honey, I love your daughter. No testing.